In this video, we're discussing why the Black community is turning their back on Cassie Ventura after she came forward about P. Diddy's abuse, and how this response exposes the community's deep resistance to holding Black men accountable, especially when the victim challenges the status quo. Hi, beautiful Black women. My name is Abby. In this video, we're talking about the backlash Cassie is getting from the Black community and why it's disturbing, confusing, and honestly very revealing. Let me start with this. I am truly confused. The backlash Cassie is getting, especially from Black women, in my opinion, it is extremely shocking. I thought we were supposed to protect Black women. I thought that phrase also extended to biracial women, especially those with Black mothers. I have heard Black people apparently really like biracials with Black moms. I guess not. Now, I know there's some tension between Black women and biracial women. I have seen it. I felt it. And I know a lot of biracial women don't like Black women and vice versa. But even with all of that, I assumed there was still a line of solidarity, a shared experience, a collective understanding, but clearly that's not the case. Cassie is the so-called preference, light-skinned, biracial, quiet, polished. She checks every box that usually earns a woman more grace in the Black community, but none of that is saving her. Because the second she held a Black man accountable, especially a powerful one like P. Diddy, it seems like everything flipped. The grace was gone, the empathy disappeared, and the community turned on her like she had committed some unforgivable sin. And what's even more shocking in all of this is the response from so many Black women.
To all the women, especially the Black women that have something to say about Cassie staying with Diddy for so long, please shut up. Because obviously y'all don't know what abuse is. Abuse does not start with physical. It starts mentally. In order for someone to get you to that point, they have to mentally break you. This man groomed her from the age of 17. I'm going to keep saying 17 because that's when he laid eyes on her. Because that's when them little wheels in his head started turning. And when she got to the age of 20, let the games begin. He literally broke this girl's spirit to the point where she wanted to go play in ongoing traffic. He raped her. He put things in her body. I don't think y'all know what it feels like to have your spirit broken and to feel like there's no way out and you just stuck. If you've ever been in an abusive relationship, you know how hard it is to walk away. Because one, you're scared. You're scared that that person's going to retaliate on you. And let me not forget that Cassie tried to run several times. He allegedly set Kid Cudi's car on fire. He dragged her back into a hotel room. I don't want to hear people say she never tried to run away or get away. There are plenty of stories of that. But you also at a point that you're so low to the point where you think you can't live without that person. That's why abuse starts mentally. They break you down, they fuck up your head, and then they can physically fuck you up. I expect men to blame the woman. I expect that. I would never expect a woman to place blame on a woman. The worst thing I heard come out of Cassie's mouth is that she tried to get that man to understand what he put her through. And he laughed about it. He brushed it off. No remorse whatsoever. Y'all actually putting blame on her? Women that place blame on women, y'all are some sad individuals. And y'all are a disappointment to women everywhere. I pray nothing ever happens to your children, your sisters, your mother, your auntie, your female cousin. You would be the wrong person to run to.
What's up, y'all? Look, I don't like Diddy. Didn't like him when he was puffy. But I gotta keep it $150. Cassie is not innocent in all of this, okay? Especially with the testimony that came out today. You can't make me believe that she is. She said herself that she didn't say no to the freak-offs because she didn't want him to get a different woman instead. So she didn't want to be replaced. She didn't want to lose access to that lifestyle. She stayed there and she participated in some of those things because she enjoyed it. And some of it that she did not enjoy, she stayed because he's rich. Okay? If Diddy was just regular old Sean that drives a forklift at the warehouse, at the factory up the road, she would not have took no ass whippings for 10 years. Okay? She would have got the hell on. She might have stayed around for like 10 months until she got her income tax and got her a little apartment or something, a little hoopty, and got the hell on. But being for real though, I'm just keeping it a $1.50. If he was a regular working dude, she would not have stuck around for that shit. It was the money. It was the fucking money, the fame, the fortune. And keep it real, the dope. Because she talked about they used a lot of drugs. She didn't want to lose access because she had developed some very expensive habits.
When I say Cassie need to be in jail, I'm not saying that trying to discredit nothing that she went through during the time that she dealt with Diddy. But she dealt with Diddy for too long, for too many years to not have been able to walk away. And everybody keeps saying you never been in no DB situation, so you don't know. Granted, I never been in a DB situation. I never been in nothing to the point where I felt like I couldn't leave a person. Yeah, I've had ties to people, and it made it hard to leave because of the situation or what we had going on. But I could never put myself in a. I'm never gonna say never. I wouldn't want to put myself in a situation where I know a person is no good for me. Like after so long, the signs get to showing. Everything get to showing. So if you decide to stay, that's when, especially for over 15, I'll say like 10 years, that means that you decided to do the same exact things that he was doing. Like you was recruiting those people, going on Backpage, going on whatever to find them people. So therefore, you just as guilty as him. Anybody who was involved had anything to do with it. If y'all gonna say that, y'all guilty too. Just like Diddy on trial right now, she needs to be on trial. Like, period. I don't understand. Like, where is the accountability at? Like, everybody needs to be on trial. Whoever was there. Because, if they saying it's illegal to do that type of stuff, then everybody that was there needs to be in trouble. Oh, but they not because they took the stand. Like, no, Cassie, she needs to go to jail when she have that baby. Like, period. To jail, too. She participated. Sometimes she say she was always drunk. Dude, the escort said it don't seem like she was drunk or high when she said certain things. Like, come on now. Every time you messed with somebody, you was not drunk or high. And you could have got out of that and you stayed in it. For what? Oh, because you was so scared of him. You need to be on trial. Everybody needs to be on trial. Just like everybody needs to be in trouble. Not just Diddy. Everybody.
It's very disappointing, but also deeply confusing. Because from my lived experience, what I see is that Black women often vicariously live through biracial women. They praise them, uplift them, put them on a pedestal. It's like biracial women become the idolized version of Black femininity, especially when they have a Black mom. That's just what I have seen. So why now, in Cassie's moment of truth and pain, is that pedestal being yanked away? Why are the same woman who once idolized her now calling her a liar, saying that she stayed too long, accusing her of being complicit? Why are Black women who have often endured the same patterns of abuse suddenly pretending like they can't relate? It's almost like Cassie broke an unspoken rule, which is don't go against Black men. Don't call out his violence. Don't disrupt the fantasy, because if you do, you're no longer one of us. You're no longer protected. You become the enemy. And that's what's so dangerous about this community. It's not just that Black men avoid accountability. It's that the women who should be standing beside you will often be the ones to silence you first. That's how deep the male identification goes. That's how powerful internalized misogyny is. The truth is, a lot of Black women are deeply male identified, and they don't even realize it. They defend these men harder than they defend themselves. They will cape for men who cheat, lie, beat, and abandon them. But the second a woman speaks up, they become prosecutors, judges, and executioners. Cassie didn't just accuse any man, she accused him, a man who represents power, legacy, wealth, and prestige in the Black community. Diddy isn't just a celebrity, he's an institution. And to accuse him of abuse is to threaten the very foundation of what a lot of people still idolize. So instead of addressing the accusation, they attack the accuser. Let's talk about the psychology behind this. Cassie represents a threat to the lie that success, beauty, wealth, or being a preference can protect you from abuse, the lie that if you play your cards right, you'll be treated better. Her story is uncomfortable because it destroys that fantasy. It exposes the fact that no matter how pretty, light-skinned, famous, or loyal you are, when you speak out, you're disposable. The community doesn't want to look in the mirror because that mirror reflects too much. It reflects the aunties who stayed in abusive marriages, the mothers who told their daughters to keep quiet, the friends who blamed the victim, the uncles and cousins and pastors who were never held accountable. It reflects a cycle too ugly to face. So instead, they break the mirror and blame the reflection. Cassie's story is textbook. Grooming, power imbalance, isolation, control, trauma bonding, it's all there. But instead of seeing that, people are twisting it, saying, well, I think she liked it. Saying she's trying to ruin his legacy. Saying she was just a willing participant. All of that is just deflection. It's a way to avoid saying the truth. This man was allegedly abusive, and she finally had the courage to speak up. The most heartbreaking part is Cassie didn't need to say anything. She could have stayed silent forever, just taken the settlement and kept living her life, but she chose to speak. And for that, she is unfortunately being crucified.
I hate to say it, but sometimes the Black community actually makes me kind of sick. And Diddy Trout and Cassie talking about how his 18 and 19-year-old daughters are too young to be in the court listening to everything their daddy did. But Cassie, who was also 19 at the time of everything that was going on, had a choice. She was grown enough to make the decision to do everything that she was doing with him, but his girls aren't grown enough to sit there and learn about everything their daddy did while they're steadily supporting him. And I love my people, but the way that some of y'all refuse to see Black women, Black teenage women, young women as fucking victims is sick. If we're being 100% honest, no 19-year-old has the cognitive function to be in a healthy relationship with a 33, 35-year-old man. That's just the truth of the matter. Because he knew he would have that kind of control over this young woman. And then so many of y'all are talking about he wasn't being charged with domestic violence. Why is she talking anyways? He was charged with sex trafficking. And what he did to her was in fact sex trafficking. The facts of the matter is he drugged her, he beat her, and he raped her repeatedly.
I just want to talk about this really quickly because I'm noticing and I'm observing that when it comes to some of the social media posts I'm seeing about what occurred in that video between Cassie and Diddy, people are opening the door for a conversation that centers her racial identity rather than what happened to her under the span of a 10-year relationship. Honestly, I don't care about Cassie's racial identity. I care that a woman was abused by an extremely powerful man. And I don't even want to use allegedly because he stomped on her in a video. Like, that is a form of abuse. But I saw this post from Vibes of the Black Girl. From Vibes of the Black Girl with Cassie in juxtaposition to Megan Thee Stallion, who is Black American and monoracial, while Cassie is multiracial. Her mom is African American, West Indian, and Mexican. Her father, I believe, is Filipino. And then you have this post from Essence, which reached outside of their target audience, saying protect and believe Black women the first time. And instead of us really unpacking how domestic violence and grooming works, there's just endless amounts of comments about whether or not Cassie identifies as Black or is even considered Black, which I feel like is honestly irrelevant to the conversation.
You know, while I'm at it, let's talk about this Diddy stuff, right? This Diddy Cassie stuff. Because I just can't wrap my head around this. This time last year, we saw the video from the hotel where he was abusing Cassie when she was trying to leave. We saw the feds raid his house. We heard about the baby oil. We heard about the videotapes of the freak-offs. And everybody was like, yo, whatever they said he did, Diddy did that. Like 50 making jokes all on TikTok for like the next month or so. I see compilations of people finding like these particular moments from interviews. Like there's this one with him and Fabulous looks real skittish when Diddy brings up the, like, why ain't you partying with me? Like, just all these weird stuff that just kind of point to, like, yo, Diddy's been a weirdo for a minute. So it's not that hard to believe that the stuff that they're accusing him of, he might have did that. But as soon as Cassie gets on the stand and starts to tell her side of the story and detailing what she went through, Now she lying. Now she's just doing this for a check. Like, first of all, like y'all said, she got her money, so why is she doing this? For one, it's a federal subpoena. If she didn't take the stand, she was going to jail. She would be going to prison like Diddy is. And two, even if she wanted to take the stand, like, she has been through so much being with this man, being manipulated, abused, and a whole bunch of other dark and twisted stuff. Why wouldn't she want to do her part? Even if it means detailing these embarrassing, traumatic things that has happened to her when she was with this man. Why wouldn't she maybe feel emboldened to go, I want to make sure that he doesn't get away with this, and that he can finally pay for the things that he's done to me and to others. Like, the feds are on this for a reason. But as soon as she starts to talk, as soon as a black woman starts to talk about her experience, all of a sudden there's all of these other interior motives, instead of it just being the fact that Diddy is an abusive monster and she's doing her part to make sure he goes to jail and pays for his crimes.
Meanwhile, black men are rarely ever asked to do any emotional labor. They're never asked to explain, apologize, or change. But black women, biracial women, are expected to stay silent, forgive, and understand them, even when they're killing us emotionally, spiritually, and sometimes literally. This community isn't just failing Cassie, it's failing all of us. Because when the standard is protect black women, but only if they never speak out, then there is no protection. When the rule is believe women, but only if the abuser is white, then there is no justice. And when you can be someone's preference and still be thrown away, it tells you everything you need to know about where you stand. So to every black woman watching this, pay attention. This isn't just about Cassie, this is about you. If they'll do it to her, they'll do it to you. If they silence her, they'll silence you. Don't get caught up in thinking that proximity to preference will save you, because it won't. Not in a community that sees any woman holding a black man accountable as a threat. And let's talk about something that really keeps frustrating me, and I've seen it in my comments as well, and I think it's so annoying. And that is people dissecting Cassie's racial identity. That's another layer to this. It's not enough that she told the truth. Now all of a sudden the community wants to question who she is, as if that maybe disqualifies her pain. People are nitpicking her appearance, her features, her skin tone, asking, well, is she even really black? Or she's just a biracial girl. That's not our issue. But when black men date biracial women, especially those with black mothers, those same women are usually accepted as part of the black community with open arms until they challenge a black man. That's when they suddenly become outsiders. That's when the gatekeeping starts. It's wild because biracial women are often held up as the standard in the black community, the ideal fantasy, the look black men praise, and black women are expected to either compete with or embrace. But the moment a biracial woman breaks the rules and speaks out against a black man, she gets stripped of her identity and thrown to the wolves. So what is it really? Are biracial women included, or only when they're silent? Are they part of the sisterhood, or only when they're being used as symbols of beauty and being desirable? For me, it's the hypocrisy. The same people who uplift biracial women when it benefits them are now the same ones saying that she's not one of us, just to justify turning their backs on her. But why are black women doing this to her? That's the part that cuts the deepest. Some of it is projection. Many black women have stayed in abusive relationships. Many of them have endured similar patterns of grooming, control, and trauma, but they stayed silent. So when Cassie speaks up, it doesn't feel empowering to them. It feels like a reminder of their own silence. And instead of facing that pain, they redirect it. They project it onto her. They say she's lying, that she liked it, that she stayed too long. It's deflection rooted in pain. Then there's the deep male identification that still grips so much of our community. Black women have been conditioned to protect Black men first, even when it costs them everything. They've been taught that their value lies in loyalty, not liberation. So when Cassie disrupts that narrative, it feels like betrayal to them, even if what she's doing is brave, necessary, and true. And we can't ignore the resentment. Cassie represents the pretty, light-skinned, soft-spoken fantasy that a lot of women were told that they could never be. So instead of empathizing with her, some see her downfall as some sort of twisted justice. Like, she got with one of the richest Black men alive and still got abused. Oh well, it's envy disguised as indifference. But at its core, it's all survival. Some Black women are defending P. Diddy and attacking Cassie because they genuinely believe that protecting Black men is the only way to be protected themselves. It's a false sense of safety. A lie that says if I defend him, maybe he'll protect me. But it never works that way. Ever. Cassie's story doesn't just expose P. Diddy, it exposes a system of silence, misogyny, projection, and betrayal that too many of us are still trapped in. She's not the exception, she's the mirror. And sadly, a lot of people don't want to look at their reflection. Thank you for watching. I hope this video gave you something real to sit with. Until my next video, Black women, I love you so much. Bye.